Okay. I did in fact get around to another chapter while still at my self-inflicted writing retreat. I have done over 15,000 words while I've been here. It's not as much as I wanted to do. I'm not gonna lie. When I got here, I had 14 chapters left to write in the book. And I finished 6 of them. I was hoping at minimum to finish 7, but it's already 4 o'clock and it's going to take me 2.5 hours to get home. And I kind of am ready to be at my house again with my family and my kids and my husband. And I think, though, one of the things that this has like opened up in my brain is that I don't need a lot of time to get things done, right? So like I'm having like tiny little sprints. So it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, right? Like those are my blocks. And yes, it is a course of 2 hours, right? But I did 2 hours of writing in 15-minute and 20-minute units. And so I was able to write over 3,000 words in that 2 hours. So my goal, we'll see what happens. My goal for the rest of this week is to spend total every day about 2 hours writing, and to do it in sprint style. So I'm like, okay, I've got 15 minutes. I'm going to start a sprint and then write for that 15 minutes. And then at the end of that 15 minutes, if I'm still being left alone by my children, I keep going. If people are needing stuff, then I can actually say, hey, look, mommy's got 5 more minutes, and then I will be able to help you. And unless we've got like bones protruding or someone's like, projectile vomiting, they can wait 5 minutes and then I can help them with whatever it is, right? And if somebody's projectile vomiting or has bones sticking out, then I can stop immediately and go help them. So, yes, the wind is blowing like crazy, but we're going to go for it anyway, because my plan is to read chapter 15 to you and then to kind of clean up and head home. I actually need to stop at Brolam's. Well, not Brolam's, but they've got a little market over here that I want to stop at real quick because they have bulk spices. And I'm going to get me some raspberry leaf tea in bulk and some hibiscus tea in bulk because it's cheaper than getting it offline. Okay, here we go. Chapter 15. Heads up for next week, y'all. So that's this week's chapter. Next week's chapter she's a little chunkier, so be prepared for a longer video next week. Okay? Good. Chapter 15, Wednesday, December 19th. December 19, 2008. Training yesterday was exhausting. Grandma taught me how to extinguish an entire fire. Granted, it was probably only a fourth of the size of the one we'll be facing tomorrow. Tomorrow. How can it be so soon? There was one thing we found out yesterday that was kind of cool. I got super tired at one point and Grandma called Emma out. Just having Emma closer, I could feel her magic and draw on it. We weren't even touching each other. Hopefully, if nothing else, Nellie at least comes to the bonfire so I can draw on her power, whether she wants me to or not. I borrowed a book from Ethel yesterday. It's called The Elemental Magics Volume 2. Volume 1 talked about the 4 elements I already knew about: earth, air, fire, water. You'd think they'd mention everything in one book, but I guess not. I haven't had a chance to start reading Volume 2, though. I was so exhausted, I went straight home and slept. I'm so glad today is the last day of school. Grab a drink, homemade lemonade by Mrs. Miranda. Quite a treat. Fill your plate and take a seat. Mr. Miranda filled a plate for himself, set it on his desk, and gestured for the class to follow as he loaded The Last of the Mohicans into the DVD player. Emma Nikki and Emma got in line with their peers, filled their plates with the various chips, cookies, and goodies provided, and found seats at the back of the classroom. Neither was particularly interested in watching the movie, even though it was one of Nikki's favorites. "We need to figure out a way of warning Wyatt," Nikki whispered to Emma. We can't exactly just tell him." "Agreed," Nikki said. "What if we wrote an anonymous note?" "And said what?" Emma whispered back. "Fair. I mean, Dear Wyatt, if you happen to be thinking about going to the bonfire, you really shouldn't sign an anonymous friend," isn't exactly likely to stop him, Nikki said. "Sounds better than, had a vision if you show up at the bonfire, you're going to die, love, Emma. With love, Emma." Nikki fought to smother her giggles at the absurdity of their situation, which of course got Emma going. Both girls received a stern look from Mr. Miranda. After a few more stifled giggles and several deep breaths, the girls were able to settle themselves. "Okay, but seriously," Emma said, once she'd finally calmed down. "Oh," Nikki said, her eyes lighting up as the idea hit her. She pulled out a piece of paper, wrote quickly, and slid it over for Emma to read. "Dearest Wyatt, I've had my eye on you for a long time. I think it's finally time you knew how I felt. Meet me at the pier at 7 o'clock, December 20th. With love and hope, your secret admirer." "This is genius," Emma whispered excitedly. "We don't have to warn him. We just get him out of the area." "Exactly." Nikki rewrote the note in her nicest handwriting. The girls spent the rest of the day trying to figure out how to get the note to Wyatt. They immediately rolled out sticking it in his pocket or backpack, as no self-respecting teenage boy checks his backpack or pockets while on Christmas break. They eventually settled on paying an underclassman to hand-deliver the note. That way, there would be no doubt that he got it. When class got out, they grabbed some kid Emma sort of recognized. They gave him the note and half the payment. Nikki had read enough spy books to know to withhold the second half of the money until after the job was done. They told the sophomore he'd get $5 extra to keep quiet about who they were, which was a wasted $5 because he had no idea who they were. "I see him." Using a row of lockers for cover, Nikki watched the sophomore kid make his way to Wyatt and Nellie. He handed the letter to Wyatt, who looked around. Nikki slowly sunk behind the lockers. If she moved quickly, she'd draw his eye. She learned that from a book, too. After counting to 10, Nikki whispered to Emma, "I'm going back up." Nikki peeked over the lockers again. She couldn't see the kid or Wyatt. The girls told the kid to meet them in the library after they delivered the note, so Wyatt couldn't follow him back to them. Though Emma had admitted she thought Wyatt's personality was too laid back to follow up on something like this. "Let's wait a few minutes and then go to the library," Nikki said. "Do you think he read it?" Emma asked as they sat there. After a few passing students glanced down at them, but otherwise no one took much notice of the two girls crouched near the lockers no one used anyway. "I hope so." Nikki scratched her cheek. "Hey, do you think Nellie will recognize my handwriting?" Emma thought for a moment. "Well, have you ever written anything to her?" "Not that I can remember," Nikki said. She glanced up at the clock in the hallway. "Okay, let's go." The two girls walked to the library as casually as they could. Once there, Nikki saw the kid and jerked her head toward an aisle of reference books. After checking it was clear, she pulled out the money. "Thanks," Nikki said. "No problem," the kid said, taking the money and shoving it in his front pocket. "What's your name?" Emma asked. "Bowie." He flicked his dirty blonde hair back like most sophomores in 2008. He had the Zac Efron haircut, as it was known at the time. "Thanks, Bowie," Emma said. "We appreciate your confidentiality." Yeah, sure," he nodded and left. "I feel like I know him from somewhere," Emma said, "or like I should know him." "He looks like every other sophomore," Emma said, oh my gosh. "He looks like every other sophomore," Nikki said, shrugging and glancing between aisles. "Gangly, with ears too big for his head and a dumb haircut." "You ladies must be finished looking for your books since you feel the need to chat." A high whisper came from behind them. The girls turned around to see the school librarian, a regular palomino of a woman. Her big brown eyes looked even more enormous through her bifocals. "Sorry, Mrs. Philippos," said Emma. "It won't happen again." December 1908. Wyatt got a letter from a secret admirer. He seems pretty stoked. I'm just hoping it's not some mean joke. I mean, I love the guy, but he's not exactly... Well, I just hope somebody isn't being mean. Speaking of Wyatt, I think I'm going to tell him about Mom's journal. I told him everything else. Nellie's phone rang. Without checking to see who was calling, she answered. "Hello?" "Before you hang up, please listen," Andy said. "Sure," Nellie said sarcastically. "Why don't you explain to me again how Ashley just fell on you as you were walking by and you just happen to catch her with your mouth? She rolled her eyes. Nels, Andy said, it wasn't like that. Look, Nellie said, trying to keep calm so she could speak clearly. You want me because you can't have me. When you had me, you didn't want me. I'm done with your lies. I'm done with your cheating. I'm done with your constant partying. You don't want a girlfriend. You want a designated driver. We are done. Please stop calling or I will tell my dad. Andy scoffed. Wow, you're going to run to Daddy? He laughed. What's he going to do? Well, Nellie said, he knows the best shark dives and has access to a boat. Use your imagination. She hung up and blocked his number. Wyatt's here, Joe called from the front room. In here, Nellie called from her room. In the kitchen, called Tom. Tom had a strict no boys in the bedroom rule, and this rule included Wyatt. Despite Nellie's insistence, he was not a boy. He was Wyatt. Coming. Nellie made her way into the kitchen and found Wyatt there alone. What's up? Wyatt said. One last secret, Nellie said quietly, glancing around. Come here. She walked over to the sink. She had done the dishes earlier to ensure she had a clear sink. Nellie turned on the water and added, oh, I don't need this anymore. Sorry. They're my blue light glasses. I'm like, these are making it hard to read. I don't actually need them. They're not my reading glasses. Nellie turned on the water and added the drain stopper. Here, she handed Wyatt the book as the sink filled. Open it. Wyatt took the book and tried to open it, but couldn't. Is this a gag book or something? Watch, Nellie said, turning off the faucet. She took the book and shoved it under the water. It popped open. Look, she pointed to the page with her mother's message. Her mother's message. Hafru, Wyatt read. Isn't that what your mom called you? I know you think Nikki and Emma turned me into a, but this proves it comes from my mom's side. It's genetic, Nellie said. How do you know it was your mom's? Did they give it to you? Nellie rolled her eyes. My dad gave it to me. And do you know how to make a book completely close unless it gets wet? Emma's good at chem, right? Wyatt said. I guess, but if this is just science, it's high-level stuff. Besides, how do they know my mom's nickname for me? I forgot about it until I read this. There's no way they knew about that. Plus, I checked the handwriting against Mom's. It matches. Nellie pulled the book out of the water. It snapped shut. Are you saying you want to help them? Wyatt asked. No, Nellie said. I don't think so, but this proves that they were telling the truth about it coming from my mom's side. If you say so, Wyatt shrugged, raising his eyebrows. 19 December 2008. Sorry. Trying to adjust. I'm sitting on the floor. Hold, please. Sorry. I thought I was hearing running water, and I'm like, I didn't leave anything running. Did I leave something running? Oh my gosh, I left something running. No, I didn't. It's just the wind blowing through. It's fine. Okay, 19 December 2008. Today is weird. It's the first time I've ever paid someone to deliver a note. It's the day before a vision I had over 10 years ago comes to pass. I feel jittery all over. It's like there are bees under my skin. We're at Grandma's. Kate wants me and Nikki for the fire training today, but I'm not sure what I can do exactly. All right, girls, I'm ready for you, Kate said as she finished casting the fire protection spell. Nikki and Emma were sitting on the swing in the backyard. Emma put her journal in her bag and both of them walked over to the fire pit where Kate was standing. Nikki, I want you to repeat after me, okay? Kate said. Okay, Nikki said. I apologize to every Latin speaker in the world. I know, they're all dead, but I still apologize. Duco ducere laesat mihi aquam de cisterna tua virtuit et calore solis, Nikki said, or Kate said. Kate repeated, oh my gosh. Kate said. Nikki repeated, stumbling over cisterna so that Kate had Nikki repeat it until she could say the whole phrase perfectly. Good, said Kate. Now for the last part of the spell. Duco dirse laesat tua virtus et pabula terre aura spe. They said it together, repeating the spell over and over again until Nikki could say it from memory without any guidance from Kate. Once Nikki had it, Kate taught a different spell to Emma. Ut harit aquam de cisterna mihi potestas et calor ex sol irrip me de terra alimentum whose idea was this? Taharant viribus ut et ara spe. Once both girls had their parts memorized, Kate said, "Brilliant! This spell helps you draw on one another's powers." "I thought I wasn't supposed to use spells yet," Nikki said. "Besides, I can't even cast," Emma added. "No, dear, but you can echo and reinforce a spell. And Nikki will be the primary, the one to actually cast a spell, and you make it stronger by reinforcing her power with your own. And Nikki, these are rather special circumstances." "Still wish you and Gabby could just go," Nikki mumbled. "I don't feel ready." Kate sighed and squeezed Nikki's shoulder. "Unfortunately, because of the nature of psychics and visions, if any of us were to go where we had not been seen, we could greatly alter things, and not necessarily for the better." Kate smiled sadly. "I wish we could go and stop this and keep you girls safe. Part of being magical is allowing magic to guide you, and part of being a mentor is guiding your charge, not taking their tasks upon yourself, no matter how much you might wish to." Nikki nodded and huffed, resigned to her duty. "So, what exactly are we saying in this spell? What does it mean?" "You're basically asking Emma if you can draw on her power and strength, and her part says you can," Kate said. "Light the fire and cast a spell I just taught you. Think about making the fire bigger while you're casting. Emma, concentrate on lending your power to Nikki." The girls did as they were asked. Standing a foot away from the pit, Nikki stretched her hands out in front of her and flicked them upward, as if she were, once again, an orchestra conductor and the concert had just started. A fire blazed to life. "Ready?" Emma asked, glancing over Ready? Nikki asked, glancing over to Emma. "Yeah," Emma said, offering her right hand to Nikki. "On 3. 1, 2, 3, Nikki said, taking Emma's hand. The girls each said their part of the spell simultaneously. At first, the fire didn't seem to change, and then seemingly all at once, it was huge. Nikki looked immediately to Kate for advice. "Put it out," Kate said calmly. "Right. Duh." Nikki shook her head, breathed quickly, in and out. "Okay, again." They repeated the process, except for this time Nikki made the fire smaller. "Well done, girls," Kate clapped. "Very well done. The fire tomorrow will be much easier than this. Magical fire is naturally more resistant. For now, try to make the fire smaller. As soon as it starts growing, it's considerably more difficult to stop a magical fire's momentum. If you can stop this, you're all the more prepared for tomorrow." Nikki and Emma spent the next 45 minutes enlarging the fire and dousing the flames immediately afterward. After each exercise, Kate would offer feedback, a tip, or a trick for them to work on next time. When it was clear that the girls had given everything they had, Kate told them to put the fire out completely and go inside and eat. "Do you think we're ready?" Nikki asked before taking a bite of the sandwich Ethel had prepared, turkey and sprout on sourdough with a homemade garlic cilantro spread. "You've done as much as you can in the time you've been allotted," Ethel said. Nikki swallowed. "Will it be enough?" She was still worried she might not be simply passing out. "We'll find out," Emma said, shrugging. "What would happen if we didn't go?" Nikki asked. "Now, that's one outcome I don't want to think about," Emma admitted. We are all the more closer to halfway through the book. Chapter 16, the end of chapter 16 marks the middle of the book. Actually, I think technically chapter 16, like inside chapter 16 is actually the middle of the book. I don't know. What's 347 divided by 2? Let's see. 34 would be 17. So 173-ish. About 174, which is the end of chapter 16. So, end of chapter 16 is halfway through the book. Anyway, as always, if you want your own copy, you can get it from Amazon. Not Google. The YouTubes will not verify me. They're like, "Oh, all you have to do is submit a 6-second video." And I'm like, no. And they're like, "Or you can take a picture of your driver's license." I was like, "Absolutely not." And they're like, "Or you can keep posting." Most people get verified meaning I can post clickable links in my description. That's all I want. And they say, oh, it'll happen within 2 months. Well, I've been posting once a week regularly since April, and it's August. And still nothing. I think they're just going to bank on me folding and either submitting a 6-second video of myself proving I am in fact a real person and not AI. It's me. I'm here. Look at my hands. They don't look weird. I'm really a person. I promise. Look, it's me right there. It's me. And I'm definitely not taking a picture of my driver's license because that's not getting on the internet. So I'm sorry if I don't have clickable links. I'm trying. I'm doing it the way that they said, minus the things where I have to like give them information. I don't know. Feels shady to me. Maybe it's a tin hat thing. Anyway, thanks for being here. Next week, I will most likely be back at my house, and you won't get this lovely view or this immense amount of quiet. Apologize. But not really, because no offense, but my kids are here first, right? So, it's fine. It's all good. It's all good. We're all good. See you guys next week.